Today I want to talk about because we entering into Father's Day,
Oh, that's right.
and everybody who knows me knows how much I love you. And you and I both have similar kind of bringing up stories. Single moms who
Mm-hmm.
loved us, showed us a great work ethic, and believed in us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for your three children, is one of the big things of you as a great dad is they believe in you. Fair? You agree
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. For
So, what do
sure.
you think being a dad has been like the greatest thing and the most challenging?
Well, I think I want to start off with your point. For me, the fact that I grew up without a father, I really honed in on wanting to be the best dad I could be. And by the grace of God, I have a great relationship with all three of my kids, good open communication. But I had to be intentional. And I probably, as I think about fatherhood, because I look for mentors, I read a lot, I went to workshops, and then I tried to emulate men who I respected, and I saw how they led their families, their wives, their kids, and so I'd probably say the two most enjoyable things about fatherhood. One is that loving connection, that bond that you build with your kids, right? When you invest in them and the affection
Yes.
and watching them evolve, right? I think that's one that you can't even put that into words, right? You got to
Right.
experience it,
Yes.
right? And I think the other one goes back to, I think, legacy and purpose.
Yes.
Watching them transform and evolve and knowing that you have a role in helping mold them, right? Their values, their character, even helping them overcome adversity and the self-doubt, like you were saying, the
Yes.
confidence. I think those two are probably, for me, the most enjoyable parts of fatherhood that brought a lot of joy, laughter, also tears and
Cheers.
challenges, all that sort of stuff. But to answer the second part of your question, I think that the other part, probably the most challenging, that, and I don't think most men really talk about it now that you frame it that way. I think it's the responsibility and the presence, or maybe I could even say the presence and the pressure. And let me kind of unpack that. Is that, hey, you need to be there emotionally for them, right? Yet you have this responsibility for
Yeah.
career, the finances, provision, and at the same time, you're trying to make sure that you don't miss their practice, their ball games, or their extracurricular activity
Yes.
when they have challenges, particularly in their teens. Who can they go to and have that open communication? You've been working all day. You come home, you're a little bit drained energy,
Yes.
but you got to have enough fuel in the tank, right, to really dive in and be there for them. Because again, I had a mentor tell me one day that if you make your kids a priority while you're living, they'll make you a priority while you're dying.
Yes. Yes, I heard you say that before. I think one word too is accountability. To keep yourself accountable to step into that yes of being a good dad.
Oh,
Because there's
for
an
sure.
accountable
Yeah,
piece
yeah.
that, and we live in a world of two things I feel like people really struggle or lack in is responsibility and accountability. And they get to a point where they raising their children and then they want to take a pause. I know I can speak to women now because it's now maybe about them a little bit. And I kind of feel like as a parent, it's really never about you. I feel like as a parent, it's really our duty to always be parenting. I mean, my mom, until the day she could not speak, would correct us if we needed to be corrected. And that I was in my late 40s. My mom would direct things in us that she saw that maybe she felt like, well, who do you think you are doing that? Well, I don't think you should talk to this one like that. So I think there's a big accountability piece, and I think dads get the biggest rap, right? Even biblically, right?
Yeah.
God puts the pressure on the dad, but I think anyone that's in a kid's life, a mom, a teacher, a coach, all of us need to be accountable to what we deliver and what we bring to our children.
Well, and I think the reason some people are not, I think we all should, I totally agree with you 100%, is because it has to be a goal, right? I mean, I want it to be a
So you
good
go,
parent,
yes,
right? You have
yes,
to have that as a goal.
yes,
And two, you have to be intentional.
yes,
Nothing happens
automatically.
automatically, right? So there's work to do, there's learning to do, right? It's a difference maker at the end of the day, right? As a matter of fact, I once went to a workshop and the guy says that there's 4 phases of parents. First, you're the caretaker. Then when they get into the teens, you become the cop. and then you become the coach after that.
Yes.
And then later in life you become the consultant, right? Because
Yes.
you want to be there, like you're saying, hey, you know what, you can be 60 and your kid 30, and you know what, if you see something them going down the wrong path, hey, you go, hey, let me give you a little bit of a
Advice.
perspective here, right?
Yes.
I've got scars, right? I can see further. I've lived longer, right?
Yes.
And so hopefully, if you're doing a good job or if you're investing, then you have that two-way communication,
Yes.
right, where they listen.
Yeah. And one of the beautiful things, I know our kids are both the same age, is there are so many great elements where they become your friend in a good situation. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you really actually enjoy them and they enjoy you, and you have that camaraderie and that sense of vision and purpose in life. And it really just makes, I know for me, when I have that with my boys, it's like, it's a gift, and I'm grateful. I'm really glad we had this time together, this conversation together.
Well, it's
on this trip.
because you're reaping what you've sowed, right? That time and that relationship. And look, it does evolve, right? Like you're saying. I
Yes.
mean, it's not like you're going to micromanage them. I'm not going to micromanage them. They're adults at this point,
Right.
right? But that interaction where you're doing life together and you're there, and they know no matter how old mama is, no matter how old daddy is, hey, I can always call them if I need a little piece of counsel.
Yeah.
I need a little bit of encouragement.
Yep.
And a good mom and a good dad will always be there.
Definitely. Well, today I just wanted to bring in one of my dear friends, Julio. We want to wish every dad out there happy Father's Day. And any last words, Julio? You good?
No, hey, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
We salute you. Keep
Yes.
it up, Dad.